Look at our new packet that you guys just got. Okay, this front page, kind of like yesterday, I'm not going to really go over this front page. This just kind of talks about the shapes that we've already talked about in the past. But today we're looking at pyramids, cones, and spheres. So just remember that your pyramids, they have triangles for sides, whereas yesterday our prisms had rectangles for sides. And then the cones and the spheres, those are pretty easy. Today we will see some where you see the actual height of the pyramid itself versus the slant height. So the slant height is over here, and that's represented by a cursive L, and the actual height of the pyramid will drop from the vertex of the pyramid down to the center of the pyramid. Okay, so let's just practice. On some of these, kind of like yesterday, I'll do lateral area as well as the total surface area, and then some of them I'll just do the total. And I don't know if we'll add into the foldable today or not. We'll see, because I want to make sure that we have time to get through this, and so let's do that first, and then we'll go from there. Looking at number one, what shape do we have? We have a pyramid. So first I do want to try to find the lateral area. So in my foldable, I'm going to come here where it says regular pyramid. And this will be for all pyramids, because we're going to see another pyramid today that's not just a square pyramid. So this is for all pyramids, kind of like yesterday the prisms were for all prisms. So the formulas you see in this pyramid section will be for all pyramids, whether it's a triangular pyramid, a square pyramid, whatever kind of pyramid it might be. Okay, so first I'm going to look. And my lateral area formula is 1/2 capital P and a cursive L. So lateral area, 1/2 capital P, cursive L. Okay, in all of these problems, if it doesn't say otherwise, if it's not marked somehow or it doesn't say otherwise in the directions, we're going to assume that these are regular polygons on the bottom, which mean all the sides are the same and all the angles are the same. So when I go to do this, I first want to find the perimeter of my base. And what would the perimeter of the base be? 24. We're assuming that all sides are 6. So as long as it doesn't get marked some other way or tell you in the directions, assume that all of these bases are regular, meaning all sides are the same length and all angles are the same measure. And then the cursive L stands for slant height. Do you know which one of those is the slant height?
5.
The 5. So the 5 is the slant height. The 4 is the actual height of the shape itself. So we want the 5 here. And what do you get if you work that out? 60. So that is the lateral area of the pyramid. It's the area of all the sides. It just doesn't include the bottom base. Okay, so now I want to find the total area. So I'm going to grab my foldable again. So in the pyramid, the formula for total is 1/2 PL plus capital B. So total area is 1/2 PL plus capital B. And we already know what 1/2 PL is. What's 1/2 PL? 60. And what does capital B mean again? Area of the base. And what would the area of this base be? 36, because 6 times 6 is 36. And 60 plus 36 makes? 96. And that would be our total surface area. So the lateral area finds the area of all of these 4 triangles on the side. That's the lateral area. And then the total area finds the 4 triangles on the side plus the 1 bottom base. Yesterday, in some of the formulas, we kept seeing plus 2B. That's because in prisms, there's 2 bases. This one only has 1B, and that's because in a pyramid, there's just 1 base. So that's why there's only 1B here, versus yesterday we saw 2B in this formula. Okay, number 2. I want you to try that one. Just the total. Number 2, take a second and see if you can find just the total surface area of that. Oh, I could draw a stick. Are you ready? 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 Okay, Colton, now, what'd you get?
81 feet squared.
That's not what I got. We'll see if I can find a different answer. Tommy, what'd you get? You didn't get anything. You didn't do it. Tristan? You're still kind of doing it right now. Oh, Mickey's not here today? Zach? 40.5? I don't like that either. Craig? 45 is what I like. Let me do it, but hang on. They're mainly Jolly Ranchers. Let's see if there's something you want in there. Okay, capital P stands for perimeter of the base. So what's 3 plus 3 plus 3 plus 3? 12. The cursive L stands for the slant height. Does it look like that 6 is the slant height? The 6 is the slant height. If it was the actual height of the pyramid itself, you would see it come down and hit in the center of the bottom of the pyramid, whatever that shape is. So if it was an H, if it was the actual height of the pyramid, it hits in the center. So this 6 here, that 6 is the slant height. So I'm going to put 6 right here into the cursive L. And then capital B stands for area of the base. So since the base is a square, we take length times width, and what's 3 times 3? 9. Okay, and if I take half of 12 times 6, that makes 36. And 36 plus 9 makes 45. So what happened here? Since there were a bunch of incorrect answers. What happened on this? Does anybody know? Anybody can tell me? Colton, what'd you do?
I forgot to divide.
You forgot to divide by 2. Zach, what about you?
I typed it in the calculator differently.
Okay, but you had like the right numbers?
Yep.
Okay. And yesterday, I really stressed with my other classes more so than I did with you. So I'm going to really stress this with you today because I didn't say it very clearly with you yesterday. With all of these problems, I want to see your formula. Then I want to see the plugging into the numbers. And then I want to see an answer from you. So every problem, I don't want to see less than 3 steps from you. I want to see formulas from everybody. I want to see the plugging in of the numbers from everybody. And then I want to see an answer. So I want to make sure everybody hears that. Because when you take your quiz on Monday, if I see less than these 3 steps of work, you will lose points. So I'm looking for formula, plugging in the numbers, answer. And you may have work that you have to do off to the side. Like these 2 problems, we didn't have anything extra that we had to do. It was all there for us. But I expect to see 3 lines of work. Formula, plug it in, answer. Okay, number 3. Are we still looking at a pyramid? Yeah. Okay, so it's going to be the same formula. And I'm just going to do total. I'm not going to mess with the lateral. So same formula as the 2 above. And like I said, unless it says otherwise, we're assuming that all these bases are regular, meaning all sides are the same length, all angles are the same measure. So here I go to plug in my numbers. First I come to capital P, and that stands for perimeter of the base. And what would the perimeter of that base be? 48. 12 plus 12 plus 12 plus 12. So the perimeter of the base is 48. Is that 6 the slant height? That 6 is not the slant height. The 6 is an H. It's the actual height of the pyramid. So I'm going to have to draw in a triangle that looks like this. This problem's not so bad. It's the next one that's a pain. This guy right over here is going to be the slant height. It's the height of one of the lateral faces. So this is what I'm looking for, is that slant height. I'm just going to go ahead and label it an X. Now, anybody think they know what this might be? This is a 6. It works this way with the square pyramid. I wish I had one that I could work with a little bit better. It's not going to be that way when we come down to this guy. But if we have a square pyramid, since this whole length from here to here is 12, this is going to be half of that. That's going to be a 6. So it's always going to be half the length of this if we're working with a square pyramid. It's not going to be that way when we come down here because this isn't a square. So what could I do to figure out this guy right here? Pythagorean theorem. So what would it look like? What squared plus what squared is what squared?
6 squared plus 6 squared equals x squared.
Okay, 6 squared plus 6 squared equals x squared. Go ahead and just give me x to the nearest tenth. 8.5. Okay, so 8.5 is this slant height right here. So 8.5 is going to go into my cursive L. And now I come to capital B, and capital B stands for area of the base. And what would the area of the base be? 144. 12 times 12, 144. Good. Okay, take a moment and plug all that in. Anybody with an answer? 348? And it would be meters squared. So like I said a little bit ago, this is what I'm looking for from you on all your problems. Formula, plugging in the numbers, answer. Okay, number 4. This one is more of a pain, but is it still a pyramid?
Yes.
It's still a pyramid. It's got triangles for sides. It's only got one base. What shape is the base? A hexagon. So it's a hexagonal pyramid or a hexagonal pyramid. It's going to use the same formula as all those other pyramids. So I'm going to go ahead and write down that same formula. This one is just a little bit more of a nuisance. So let's start with what we do know. Capital P, perimeter of the base. And what do you think? 60. 10 plus 10 plus 10 plus 10 plus 10 plus 10. So like I said, if it doesn't say otherwise, we're going to assume that the base is regular, so all sides are the same length and all angles are the same measure. So that would be 60. Everybody okay with that? Okay, is that 11, the slant height? No, I'm going to have to work on that. And then I'm also going to have to work on the area of the base. I actually want to work with the area of the base first. So I'm going to draw myself a hexagon down here the best I can. It's not too bad. How can I find the area of this? I'm going to work on capital B for the moment. How can I find the area of this? What's the formula?
Apothem times perimeter divided by 2.
Yep, the apothem times the perimeter divided by 2, or 1/2 AP. Okay, so I need to work on finding the apothem. The apothem is the distance from the center down to the middle of a side. I'm going to go ahead and make in this triangle right here. And let's see here. I do.
Or you can do like, no, you can take 10 divided by 2 and 5.
Right, that little guy right there would be 5?
Yes.
Okay, so I wanted to make sure you knew what Tasha was saying. From here to here is 10, so from here to here is 10. Are we okay with that? So from here to here is 10, then this little piece is a 5. Okay, and then we did one of these on the board earlier. If I take 360 and I divide by how many sides, which is 6, that makes 60. So if it's 60, what is this little angle right here? 30. I don't know if I can write it in there. So this angle is 30. So that's the 90. This is 60. And then I can do my little labeling. What do you label across from the 30? X. So x is 5. What do you label across from the 60? X square root of 3. That's the apothem right there, right? I'm not even going to bother with the 2x. So if x is 5, what's my apothem? 5 square root of 3. Okay, so now I can work on finding my area of my hexagon. So 1/2, we just found the apothem to be 5 square root of 3. We already calculated the perimeter earlier. What did we say the perimeter was? 60. Okay, go ahead and work that, but leave the square root of 3 in there. 150 square root of 3. So that's the area of my base, because my base is a hexagon. So that's my capital B. So that's going to come over here. And I had a reason for why I did that first. Okay, if I want to find the lateral height, I am going to draw in a triangle like I did on the pyramid a minute ago. But it's a little different than before. Because before on the pyramid, if the whole bottom is 12, then this is half of it, it's 6. So I don't want you to think if this is 10 from here to here, that this is half of it, that it's 5. It doesn't work that way with this shape. It works that way with the square pyramid, but not this. But let me ask you, does this look like the center of the base?
Yeah.
Does it look like it hits the middle of a side? What do you call something that goes from the center of the base to the middle of a side? The apothem. If it goes from the middle of the shape to like a vertex, that's the radius. But if it goes from the center of the base's shape or the shape to the middle of a side, that's the apothem. So this guy right here is an apothem. And we already know the apothem. What is the apothem? 5 square root of 3. Okay, and I know this is 11. I'm searching for this. This is the slant height, so let me call it x. So I can do Pythagorean theorem here. What would this Pythagorean theorem look like?
11 squared plus 5 squared, 3 squared equals x squared.
Good. 11 squared plus 5 squared root of 3 squared equals x squared. I want to see if you can work that out. And then if you're not certain what to do, I can help you with it here in a second. So 11 squared plus 5 squared root of 3 squared equals x squared. So take a moment and see if you can get x, and then I'll draw a stick. And then I'll have the Jolly Ranchers. A couple suckers, but it should come out pretty.
It did for me.
It should be a whole number. You shouldn't have to round.
You just call me kid. Not you. Yeah.
What'd you say? What'd you say? No. Stormy? Not yet.
I couldn't get it all.
I just want to know what x is.
Oh, can I say that?
No.
I said 20.5.
Yeah,
Draw another one.
it's not. Let me see if somebody else. Angelica? It is 14. So, I could talk about it by hand, or I could talk about it with a calculator. What would you prefer? Like working it with calculator or working it by hand? Is anybody else struggling getting to 14? Do you want me to do it by hand or calculator? Okay. So, in my calculator, the 11 squared I don't really have to be particular about. I'm not going to use parentheses. But the 5 square root of 3, I am going to put that in parentheses and then square it and get 196. And then if I take the square root of 196, then I'll get 14. So the 11, I don't necessarily have to put parentheses around that, but the 5 square root of 3, I do need to put that in parentheses and square it. So there it is in the calculator. Okay, so x is 14, and that's our what? What were we looking for? That's the slant height. So 14 is going to go right there. Okay, take a second, put all that in, and then round to the nearest tenth. I could do a Jolly Rancher for that. Adam? You're just now going to put it in your calculator?
Yeah.
I'm sorry, I'm drawing another stick. Emily, yes?
679.8.
Yep, 679.8. This was not hard. All you had to do was put it in the calculator when I asked you to. All right.
Okay, I see where I went wrong. I just put it in.
Where you went wrong was you hadn't put it in the calculator.
I did just put it in the wrong.
Adam. I wasn't born yesterday. Let's turn the page. All right. I want to do a different shape real quick. So let's go to number 6. And what is number 6? Number 6 is a cone. Okay, so on my foldable, I'm going to go to the cone. And let's just do the total. Do you guys want to use the very bottom one, kind of like we did yesterday? Okay, so I'm going to use that bottom formula. So TA equals pi r, and then in parentheses, the cursive L plus R. So this is our total area formula for a cone. Okay, so let's see what we know. Do we know the radius? What is it? The radius is 8. Good. 16 is all the way across, so that's the diameter, so the radius is half, so the radius is 8. Do we know the slant height? No. This 4 is the actual height of the cone. We want this guy right here. That's the slant height. I'm going to call it x. What could I use to figure it out? Pythagorean theorem. So it's going to look like what squared plus what squared is what squared?
8 squared plus 4 squared equals x squared.
Good. 8 squared plus 4 squared equals x squared. Because that was the radius, half of the 16. So 8 squared plus 4 squared equals x squared. Rounding to the nearest tenth, what do you guys get? 8.9. Okay, and that's the slant height. So 8.9 is going to go into my cursive L. And then plus the radius, and what did we say the radius was? 8. Okay. Go ahead and work it out, but keep pi in there. Keep the pi in your answer. You want me to draw a stick?
Yes.
Cooper!
1, 2,
8 times.
Cooper! Call to know.
135.6 pi.
It shouldn't be a 0.6. Adam?
Call again. Nice. Alright.
Never mind. Zach?
135.2.
There it is. 135.2 pi. And of course, I could put the pi in the calculator and get a different answer, but there it is in terms of pi.
424.7.
Adam, are you not understanding what I want you to do? Yeah, like I want you to work the problems, not just sit there and do whatever it is you're doing. I don't care if you know or don't know.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, let's go to 8. What's 8?
A sphere.
8 is a sphere. So I'm going to go to the sphere in my foldable, and the total surface area formula is 4 pi r squared. So total area, 4 pi r squared. Okay, and let's plug in what we know. So I'm going to recopy the 4, the pi, and do we know the radius?
5.
The radius is what?
6.
Oh, I went to 8, Andrew.
8.
Yeah, I jumped to 8. I just wanted to do a different shape. So it's a sphere. So our radius is 6, and so it'd be 6 squared. Okay, take a moment, calculate that, but leave the pi in your answer, and I'll draw one more stick. Oh, you're actually going to do this one?
I'm doing it.
Yeah, leave pi in the answer.
I was making sure I was right.
Call on me. I know.
Okay, Zach, I got you again. What'd you get?
That's not very fair.
No, with the pi. I want the pi in the answer.
Oh.
Nope. Moving on. Cooper?
144 pi.
144 pi. Sorry for those of you, I keep drawing the same names. Centimeters squared. Okay. This time, I do want you to do your assignment on a piece of notebook paper. So, yesterday I didn't specify very well about you needing to do that. So, today, I do want you to do your assignment on notebook paper. And I expect to see at least 3 lines of work from you formula, plugging in of numbers, and answer. Okay, but we don't need to do all of these. So let's cross 6 off, and let's cross off 9. So you can cross 6 off and you can cross off 9. One other thing, on number 2 and on number 5, I'm just going to have you do lateral area. So number 2 and number 5, I'm just going to have you do lateral area, but all the others I do want you to do the total area on. So
Just total or both?
just total.
Just total.
Yeah, so you're crossing off 6 and 9 all together. 2 and 5, you just find lateral area, and 1, 3, 4, 7, and 8, you just find total area. But I do want you to do this on a separate piece of paper, and I need to see at least 3 lines of work. Formula, plugging in of numbers, answer. But you may have other work that you have to show, because number 4 is one of those that's a pain like we did in the notes. It's page 8. Did Cooper let you have the Jolly Rancher?
No, he just kind of threw his hand in there really quick.
He took your Jolly Rancher?
No, I took one.
And he took one also?
Yes.
That deserves a punch in the throat, Austin. I can't do it. Can somebody else? Cooper, can you take care of that? Ooh. And then he'll get my candy out of his mouth.
Maybe
Just
he
one
might
quick
swallow it and choke on it.
punch in the throat.
If you get punched in the throat, your first reaction is going to be green out. You're going to be like,
Austin, did you take candy out of my bowl without permission? And why would you do such a thing? How did it fall on the ground?
I think we dropped it.
Even if it